I want to open the phones up right now to police currently serving in the homeland and to currently serving military or recently out, that could even be the last decade, who have been part of these now public drills where the gun owners, libertarians, veterans, again, number one enemy returning veterans, are cast as the bad guy. I want to hear what you think about a guy with a shotgun case, spent casing, literally that they dug through all of his hunting and fishing stuff and found it in a vest he'd forgotten to take out. And they're going to try to put him in jail for years in D.C. I want to know what you think about Bloomberg getting caught in secret meetings saying once we register, we're going to ban. I want to know what you think about the federal grants you get where you go and you train at public schools to condition the kids that the gun owners are going to come kill everybody because they're mad about the Second Amendment being violated. And they're going to use bioweapons, that the school biology teachers are terrorists. Let's go to Steve, who's in Pennsylvania, and I guess is active duty military. Steve, what is your take on all this? Do you think I'm wrong, or what do you think?
Yeah, you're dead on. I was in the military for 6 years. I just got out the other year. And I woke up beginning of last year, and it seems like everything you've been saying for the past year or so has been right on. No doubt about it.
And I can't even believe a real takeover is being attempted right now. Even I can't believe it's really happening, even though we saw all the signs. And even though it's happened in other countries over and over again. But it's so crazy. Imagine the majority of drills are for veterans and gun owners killing children to demonize veterans, gun owners, and conservatives. I mean, this is outrageous. Where is the Republican Party hauling the Attorney General up for impeachment right now?
Well, you can't trust either party.
I know.
The problem is they're both, joined together at the hip. That's the problem.
Well, let me ask you this. When you were in, before you got out a year ago, were you ever part of these drills? Because I've been to them that are public where they train to fight guys that literally have beards and wear John Deere hats. Basically, they train to fight Hank Williams Jr. Were you ever part of that, or did you ever hear about any of those drills?
I was never a part of those drills, but we did have a company come in from, they were doing a video for West Point, and they actually asked some of us to go and work with this film crew and stuff, because we have a large National Guard base about 10 minutes from my house where my unit used to be at. And we had this little training town that was out there in the middle of the woods. And we'd go out there and they'd make videos of us kicking down doors and all sorts of other stuff for training videos. But I was never part of an actual drill.
Exactly, and West Point is now publicly training that the main enemy is the Tea Party. That's in Forbes, Associated Press, you name it. But the AP reports it like it's a good thing. Thank God the Pentagon's going to smash people that don't want to turn their guns in and have the state run their kids. Go ahead.
Well, when I was in, I always told all my guys that were in my platoon or in my company or anybody that was lower enlisted, remember your oath. And even now, since I'm out in the IRR right now, even though I'm out, I still talk to military officers. I still talk to my old soldiers I used to serve with. And I still tell them, remember your oath. I mean, we all swore an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So we all have to live by that oath. I live by mine every day. Last year, since the Sandy Hook shooting, and I looked into all that and found out it was mostly a hoax that was perpetrated by our government. I've been looking into, and researching everything that goes on now. I've been calling my congressman every week, every 2 weeks, to make sure they get the point across, hey, you ain't getting our guns.
Exactly. Everybody's just got to continue to speak to friends and family. We're the majority. We're the Americana culture. The culture of America isn't perfect, but it's a billion times better than the globalist, synthetic slave culture. God bless you. And ladies and gentlemen, Cy Hirsch, the Pulitzer Prize-winning two-time investigative journalist, he came out last year and concurred with us and said the bin Laden raid was 100% fake. I talked to an active-duty Navy SEAL that's friends of the family. I'll leave it at that. Weeks after it happened, I've had family of people that died in the helicopter that was blown up on saying they know it was set up to kill their family, and they were killing, the Navy SEALs were sent in on a bin Laden body double. We even know the guy's name. And now, today, they've come out, and it turns out the Pentagon claimed they had photos of it and video and all this stuff. And then, quote, when they were ordered to declassify it, it was, quote, all destroyed. It was fake. They court-martialed hundreds of people on the ship, the aircraft carrier. Now it turns out there was no body dumped overboard. That's come out in mainstream news. It's all lies, folks. He died of kidney failure a long time ago. He was a high-level globalist asset above CIA. It's all fake. And yes, we don't know exactly what happened with Sandy Hook, but we got a good idea. They've bulldozed it. They've covered it up. Real kids were killed there, but they did have confirmed actors putting out the official story, and Bloomberg got caught in internal memos that have been leaked, preparing the day before for the big push and saying, prepare now for the news blitz. Look it up, folks. I mean, it is incredible. And they just count on everybody's ignorance to not understand this is real. I mean, this is so horrible. I wish this wasn't true. You know, it's like when I got the word my uncle was basically brain dead and was going to be turned off and die. And I was going to get out there, but he died really quick after they took him off. They thought he'd fight a few days. It's like I've now accepted he's dead and he's gone. And we have to accept America is pretty much dead. But it's like a spirit. It's not a person. It could be resurrected in our hearts and minds if we want. Not the perfect America the media's push, but the real America that at least has basic freedom compared to other nations. We're in deep trouble, folks. This is real. And I'm having to come to grips with, man, it's really as bad as we thought and worse. With a bunch of scum that have got a score to settle with people that love freedom. Let's go to Glenn in Kentucky, who's police, then Raymond, who's military, and Rabbit, who's military. Go ahead, Gene. What's your take on all this?
Yes, sir. My cousin has just recently retired from Kentucky State Police, 20-plus years, PR officer. And his direct response to your story on the illegal checkpoints is highly decorated. You can check him out if you wanted to. I can give you your name off air, make sure that it's who it is. But he says, well, I must chime in here and explain the constitutionality of the RAID program. Folks think there is a God-given right to drive a car on the roads without being bothered by the police. That's the furthest thing from the truth. Bottom line, driving is a privilege and not a right under state law. Now, can a police officer stop someone in a traffic stop for no reason? No. Checkpoints have been ruled constitutionally legal as long as the encounter is quick and to the point. Can I see your license and registration of no apparent violations? Send them on their way. Being a commonwealth.
But then they release illegals when they find them. No, I've seen those quotes in the news. Now they're looking for people with food in the car or who look like they might have been eating. And then they pull you over and go, have you been eating? Okay, here's a ticket. It's pure conditioning. I appreciate your call because we're going to police and military as quick as we can. Let's talk to Raymond in Illinois, listening on WCKG in Chicago. You're military. Are you current or did you just get out? And what's your take on this?
No, no, sir. I've been out for some time now. I have a son that's in. And my comment was they are gearing up. The Masons, I live in a small town. The Masons have been having meetings quite frequently. Wisconsin, all the major roadways, they're putting gates on the overpasses, barricades.
Well, I know this. They are getting all the kind of the insiders and all the cities ready for collapse and telling wealthy families, hey, be part of the system. We can protect you, acting like they don't know why the collapse is coming. The globalists engineered all this. That's the point. See, that's why they staged the crisis is because they can pose as the savior.
Oh, I know that. You woke me up quite a few years ago, and I've woken up a few members of my family, but there's others that don't want to listen. That
Oh yeah, don't know. You'll have 300-yard wide medians all over the U.S. and they're putting cables down the middle of them. It's got to be billions of dollars nationwide, so you can't. I mean, it's for control, and they admit it's for that. I mean, this is just hellish what they're doing. God bless you, sir. I appreciate your call. Every week we get more local news reports just where it leaks out where the military is training with police to take on gun owners, veterans, and billing them as terrorists in the drills where they shoot, blow up schools, release bioweapons because, quote, they're mad about the Second Amendment being repealed. And there are going to be a lot of people. I'll imagine it's going to be about 5% at first that refuse to turn their guns in openly. Most people will just quietly won't do it. I'd say half. Then they're going to start persecuting gun owners, as they're already doing. And then a civil war is going to break out. And that's what the globalists have already scripted and prepared, like a PR rollout. And I mean, no one should want to be part of this. This is horrible. But they've got to do this to cover up the economic collapse they've engineered so they don't get in trouble. This is a plan, folks, and we're just getting so close to it. Garrett in Austin, military, to give us your take on this. What's your take on it?
Wow, Alex, great to talk to you. Been trying to get hold of you for some time. First off, a little background information on me. I served in security forces guarding nuclear assets in Bremerton, Washington, up in the Pacific Northwest. One quick note, once I got out, the base commander there, the leading officer of the base, got taken out and fired for alleged forgery charges. I didn't think much of it at the time, but now you see this huge purge in all the nuclear programs of all the leading officers across the board. It kind of made me think about it.
No, this is a purge of the military by the Obamanoids and Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan that run the country.
Well, and you know, my take on what's going to happen, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm thinking it's going to be a lot like Egypt. If you're anybody who's in the military or has been in the military, they see that it works literally like a communist country. If you live on base, all the houses are lined up. They all look the same. They come check your rooms anytime they want. They come make sure you're always doing what you're supposed to, making sure you eat your meals every day. Before you go on vacation, you have to go to what's called a safety stand down. It's you go to the auditorium. They have to teach you about chainsaw safety, about boat safety, about barbecue safety. It's the craziest thing ever, and it's the reason they want the military to take over once the civil war breaks out, in which they're going to do exactly like they've done in Egypt and Syria and plant different Al-Qaeda-linked groups or any other terrorist organizations. They probably have paid contractors that they'll send in to work and act as if they're the rebels and do atrocities, and then have the military take over. Everybody that's in the military has been trained to respect authority, brainwashed. And those of them who've gotten out that are veterans, that's why they're demonized today, because they're either going to be completely compartmentalized and ruled by that authoritarian mindset that they've been brainwashed to think, or they're going to be completely against it like me and have their eyes open to how evil it is and be completely willing to fight back and know how the system works, and that's why they're the greatest enemy out there right now. And but, you know, all the people that are in the military, they're already trained to respect the authority, to, you know, they've already been trained. I give up my constitutional right when I sign that paper.
And now the cops are saying, hey, you have no right to not be in a checkpoint or have us search your house. Everything's a privilege. Guns are a privilege. Driving's a privilege. They believe it. And, man, I mean, every cartoon I see, movies, they're demonizing the resistance. I mean, this is it. And, folks, I'm not here trying to scare you. We got a chance to beat these people. What they're trying is outrageous. Go ahead.
I just wanted to quickly add, I got out of the military because I admit that I was, a lot of us were smoking what's called spice. I'm sure you've heard of it. I would never do it again, never, you know, we were just really depressed. We hated our lives there. But there was a lot of drug activity going on that base.
Well, yeah, and they also give the troops drugs, the prescription to prime the pump. That way they get a record on you and a way to destroy you. Everything is about institutionalizing us, domesticating us, breaking us. My friends, Alex Jones here to tell you about some of the most important information concerning you and your family's health. Radiation levels have more than doubled in the last 60 years in the Northern Hemisphere from all of the nuclear testing and radiological accidents. Radioactive contamination is now in most of the food supply. There's only two ways to avoid this. Move south of the equator or properly protect your thyroid with Nascent Iodine. Looking to protect my family, I've done deep research. Nascent Iodine is the purest, cleanest, absolute best form of iodine to protect yourself and your family. It's made right here in the USA, completely non-GMO. I searched out the best quality and now have developed a double-strength form of Nascent Iodine, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Nascent Iodine is on record as one of the only safe ways to detox from fluoride poisoning. Survival Shield Nascent Iodine. Secure your super high-quality Nascent Iodine today at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.